This was shown through video camera, social media, FaceTime, web searches, Ring Cam, what else? Google, the internet, TaskRabbit, everything. It's like we were watching the movie. We were watching the movie, watching a movie. Does that make sense? Am I saying that right?
Yes.
We were looking at a movie. Welcome to the Curry Gumbo Podcast with Nicole and Ashley, and today we have a new movie to review. Stay tuned.
I was falling asleep, but you could. You were watching a movie through a cell phone lens and the Zoom lens and all of this other stuff. I was sitting up here like, why did this girl text me that this is the movie that I need to be watching? Because it is certainly not.
OMG. You didn't enjoy it?
Love Nia Long. Love Storm. Love the Stormster. But
this didn't do it for you?
No.
But was it the style? Because the style is very different.
So the style, I did not like the style. I think I'm 37. I'm too old. I don't like
it. There was a lot going on.
I don't. You know, even when Insecure would put up Instagram messages on the screen, I would always be taken out of the show because I'm like, it is becoming clear. It's kind of, to me, that's kind of like a breaking of the fourth wall. Like, I would rather look at the phone, and I would rather stories not depend on text messages. I feel like there's a way around that, but I come from, I would say most of my life, for a good part of my life, I'm watching TV and cell phones had not been invented, or we had cell phones, but there was no text message functionality.
Not like this, and not like this. How.
So I recognize that it's just not for me, and and I'm sure that there's someone older who doesn't even know how to send a text message, who does not mind. I don't like it, and it feels like lazy storytelling to me.
Ooh.
I also did not. This is going to sound horrible, and I have never lost a parent, so I understand that I am speaking from a very ignorant place, but I found it very difficult to believe that a young girl who lost her father at like 5 or 4 was still dealing with it in this way at 18 or 19, however old she is. So that bit felt incomplete to me, and I know that we haven't even gotten into the plot of it, but I think I'm just too old, and the character of what's that little girl name? Hold on. June was getting on my fucking nerves. And I'm like, this little girl, she is getting on my fucking nerves, and I've had it. I've had it. Like the first 20 minutes, I was like, yeah, I don't like this little girl, and I don't have time, and I don't care. Bring me Nia Long. Let me watch Love Jones real quick. But that's old grumpy Ashley.
I understand it's kind of hard. I think it's kind of difficult to do a movie without people texting, because people text.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's like a better way to show that. I get what you're saying, it being on the screen, but then it's like if people are texting back and forth, how would you show that without looking? Because it's going to be hard just to try to read somebody's phone.
Unless we are having a fight, I there's to me in my
Does
daily life, there's not a lot of story that's getting done
oh, in the
in
texting?
text messages, unless
Okay.
like it's a lot of logistical shit. I'll be there in 5 minutes. Hey, can you log on to the call? Hey, where you at? What's your ETA? Or it's some mess, it's some gossip. I think that there are better ways to move a story along. I think that there's a better way to introduce information. And I think that if we are depending on like what happens in real life, then we could just hang it up right now, because in real life, half this none of this shit happening in real life. Like, movies would be incredibly boring. Is how I feel about it.
True.
Like it would show 8 hours of somebody sleeping. We're not about to do that. We're just about to like punch up to the drama. But I don't like it. And I'm 37,
You
about to
watching
be
too much Living
38.
Single.
Like, where's living single? Where is, I don't need it. I don't need it. And every time I see it, I'm like, we didn't we didn't really need that. I mean, it's fine, but cuz it's just in this film we are dependent
Oh
on
yeah.
the
Everything was a
technology.
text.
But which is
Google search.
a good thing, because in the end, I mean, it saves everyone's life. So
Oh yeah. Apple Watch came in handy, but we'll get to that. You were talking about her dad. Her not you didn't feel like you believed she would be so caught up on her father's death.
so the film opens there. It looks like they're moving into a house. Grace, James, and young June, little baby June, who I said 5. She don't even look 5. She looks like
She had
she
to be
is.
older. I was trying to do the math because this movie takes place in 2022. She's 18, and then the picture looked like she had to be between around 7, 8. I can't remember. They did say how long her dad's been gone, but then she did say that she didn't remember the funeral. And then I guess we kind of realized there probably wasn't a funeral. But um yeah, they didn't really explain how old she was when she no longer had her dad. But I was thinking about that. I was trying to do the math in my head, like, okay, she 18. Has it been 10 years? Then that would make her 8.
I
And
mean,
then she would have memories of her dad.
it's been 15 years. I mean,
But
like,
it couldn't be,
young
yeah.
young June looks like a baby. Young June looks like she's not really feeding herself yet. In the memory that we see, which was captured on
The
video.
VHS.
Yeah.
Oh, they had the date. The date was like 2006. The camera date, the camcorder date, I want to say it was like '06. Was it '06 or '08?
So
Now I can't
that's
remember.
16 years. Maybe it was '08, because
I think '08 might have made more sense.
so 14 years. So 18 minus 4. So she's 4 when
For
that takes place. So someone who has lost their father at 4, I think I just needed to see more memories,
she
because
ain't had none.
she didn't. But I'm just like, okay, you lost your father at 4. You really remember this man?
But I
Like,
think a lot of it has to do with the mystery
yeah.
about because then we later find out there's no family on either side.
Hmm.
Like the mom ain't got family. She's not in contact with no auntie or grandma or cousin from the daddy side. So this is really a big mystery.
Yeah. So we know
And
that June and Grace, um, based on what is happening on the computer screen, we believe that James has died of cancer.
mhm.
And there have been videos that were saved for June to look at when she is older. So And now, as I say that, if she's constantly looking at these videos, I can see how the constant reminder of her loving father might have an impact, would have an impact on her, not might. But so there's that.
Even
So
her,
they
she
moved
posted on
to,
Instagram, like
yeah,
her last IG post was of her mom, and her dad in front of this house.
because it's Father's Day.
Yeah.
And Grace has decided to go on a trip with her new boyfriend on Father's Day, which I didn't believe that. I'm tired of y'all talking about what black women would have done. I know you have not seen the new Black Mirror, but I'm like, y'all, a black woman wouldn't have done this. But okay.
Why? You're not going on vacation with your man?
Not on Father's Day,
But why?
not if I know that my daughter is steeped in depression
Is grieving her daddy?
regarding her dead dad. I'm not going nowhere on Father's Day. We could go anytime. It seemed like money is not an issue. So we can go anytime. Why are we going on Father's Day? That's dumb. And for Grace seems so consumed with her daughter. She is almost obsessed with her, and we learn
Yep.
why, right? Because this is a
Yep.
safety concern. Why in the hell? I could see Grace taking her daughter June on
On
vacation
vacation with
with the
them.
boyfriend. I can see
But
that
then
happening
that
before I
defeats
see
the
her
purpose
leaving.
of the vacation. It's not a vacation no more.
Child, you already know that people go on vacation with their kids all the time.
Okay, yes, but this is an 18-year-old girl. You want to have a long time with your man.
And so you tell your 18-year-old daughter to invite a friend. We gonna get y'all a room. We gonna have our own room. Y'all go do what y'all want. Meet back here at 7 every day. Like I didn't believe that a black mom would leave her child on Father's Day.
Okay.
I just didn't believe that.
Okay. I never thought about it that way.
But this is also, I know that we we are like not even into the plot yet. Grace, you know you don't have no family because I don't give a damn if you 18. You know good and damn well you would have dropped. You would have, hey, go chill at your grandma's house for a little bit. Go with your auntie. Your auntie and your cousin's gonna come over for a little bit. They gonna
But
come over and stay the weekend.
that's the problem. Well, we find out why that never happened later. But yes, it is odd that she has no family at all. All she has is her mama's white friend Heather.
And because of that, because you don't have that, I would think that you would not leave your child on Father's Day. It don't make sense. And it's nothing but white people around y'all. Cut it the fuck out.
And we should mention the dad is white. The
The
missing
dad is
dad is
white.
the white man. Okay, so Grace goes on her vacation to Cartagena with her Asian boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
And when it's time for June to pick them up from the airport, they are not there. Looks like she's waiting all day.
Well,
No
June is
mama.
late. June is late. Do you want to tell them
Well,
why June is late?
because she had the party and she needed to clean up.
She had a party. She was hungover. She doing all
Oh
this
yeah,
damn
yeah.
drinking. Look, again, I'm not 18. When I was
You were
18,
at one time.
I was never like interested in drinking. I was never interested in drinking to the point of getting drunk. Like that was never a
Me
desire of
neither.
mine. I want to take a poll of how many black women at the age of 18 were interested in being drunk. Cuz none of my friend groups were.
Ah. Even when we was in college and had opportunities to drink, it was just like, I'll have a little bit.
Yeah.
Like we wasn't
Like
crazy.
I I can see. I don't. I don't. But then again, my friend groups have always been black. June got none but non-black people around her.
Yeah.
This is the safety concern for me. Like immediately, I'm like, this is the problem. This right here is the problem. But okay, go ahead.
I was gonna say when I was younger and when I was like home alone, probably the first time I was home alone, maybe like for a weekend, I was might have been like 20, 21. But I was never like throw a party at my house type. I'm like, let me be somewhere else. I'll
First
find a
of all,
friend
I
to
ain't
hang
throwing
out
no
with.
party ass shit if my mama ain't there because I had an older sister and a little brother. So what
Oh, they
was
gonna
they gonna
tell?
do? And also, I ain't really had no friend. I wasn't popping like that. Who was gonna come to my party? That's number two. Number three, my mom was gonna kick my motherfucking ass if I had people up in that hole. Honestly, if I invited like three friends, my mom would be like, "Oh, good God, you had friends. You're such a loner," you know. But if I had a party where I have to hire a task rabbit to clean my home, my mom would have socked the shit out of me.
Yeah, that was a lot.
Even if she wouldn't, I had a single mom. I'm not about to disrespect this lady like this. It's like, June, you have a single mom. She is doing this by herself. And you about to have a fucking party? Girl, if you don't go get your girl,
And she
I
was
don't
mad.
ugh.
And she was mad when her mama told her Heather was gonna stop by to check up on her, and Heather had a key.
Cause she wanted to do hood rat shit with her friends.
Ah,
She didn't want to be disturbed. Now you sitting up there wondering where your mama at, you at baggage claim, trying to be fucking funny, and she don't show up. Now you scared. No, go be grown. Ain't you grown?
well, she grew up really fast after this.
She sure did.
So she goes back home. I think what she contacts Heather. Is that right? To let her know, like, okay, mom never showed up.
I'm not
She
sure who the
probably
first person
tells.
she contacted,
I think it should
but
have
I know
been.
it wasn't nobody black.
So then Grace starts doing investigating. Well, she's texting her. Well, she's texting the phone. Well, first of all, she's getting pictures from what's the boyfriend's name? Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
She's getting pictures from his phone about her mom while they're on vacation, which I thought was weird because I'm like, if
Why it's not coming
anybody,
from your phone? But
yeah, if
he
anybody,
said your mom's phone is dead or your mom's phone ain't getting service. But why your phone getting service? I'm
exactly,
confused.
exactly. That was like, I'm like, I don't need nobody texting my daughter but me. But
That's the
anyway,
first of okay. Number this again. No black mom would allow her boyfriend, not her new husband,
no.
not her husband she been with for like 15 years, her boyfriend to text her 18-year-old daughter. So it would have been the boyfriend would have been aware of the rules going into this, like, hey, it's probably best that I not text her. So if you use my phone, send her a voice note.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been clicking. It would, you know what I'm saying? So Grace wasn't doing that. Were there black people in the writing room? No, got
I
it.
don't think so. I don't think so. So, and then also, Grace was getting these updates, well, so-called updates from her mom and Kevin going around Cartagena, and
Not a face in sight.
exactly.
Never a face, just hair, just synthetic, curly, straight out the bag hair. I ain't judging because I will pull a curly
Oh,
synthetic
that's the vacation
baby.
wig.
Exactly.
Vacation wig all day. So Grace needs to figure out where her mama is because she ain't at the airport and she can't get in contact with her. She ain't answering her phone. Nothing. Nobody knows where she at. So she knows she has an address. I'm trying to think what happens first. Is this when she tries to I know at one point she tries to do TaskRabbit and Cartagena, but that's out of their jurisdiction. And
No, so she calls the hotel and she's
oh
like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
the hotel is like, well,
They left.
we've been seeing them. They left, but all their stuff is here. It's odd. So that's when she tries to contact the embassy there. And she has to fill out this paperwork. Like there's a whole bunch of hoops that she has to go through. And she fills out the paperwork, but she forgot like a signature or something like that. So she has to do it again. So that's when she decides to hire a TaskRabbit there to like go check out the scene.
She needs camera footage
Mm-hmm.
because at this point it's been a couple of days. So now she's like, my mom is missing.
Yeah.
And she wants to get the footage because the embassy is not helping her really. And she's like, I need this camera footage to I guess to see like where's my mother, where is she, like where is she?
Mm-hmm.
So she goes, she finds out, she finds the Columbia TaskRabbit and hires this man to go to the hotel to try to get the camera footage. And no, because she knows she only has the camera, what you call it,
Resets.
resets every
Mm-hmm.
24 hours. So she has to try to do this ASAP. So that's why she hired the man, Jorge, to go do it. No, not Jorge, Javier. Yeah, Javier to go do it. But I think by the time he gets there, it's too late. But anyway, she got him running around all over the city.
Baby.
I'm surprised she ain't run out of money because we do see before her mama left, she gave her some money.
Yep.
But she spent all the money at the party buying alcohol and
Dummy.
having to clean up. And
Foolish.
so I'm like counting the money like, girl, can you pay this man?
You're out of luck now.
But he running all around the city. They find out that I think someone at the hotel said they had like receipts or something about a lock, or someone said they went to the hardware store.
Mm-hmm.
And then they found out, they went to lock because there's this love lock bridge. So that's what that is. And she has a picture, so to speak, of them on the bridge. But June is doing all this investigating. She's going through Google, going through
She need to be
emails.
CIA because she's
Girl,
getting the information. She's getting it.
is when I was like, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, what if something happens to me? If I need to do this, or someone needs to do this for me, like, can this work in real life? Who can get into my email?
Yeah, she finds the video of her mother and Kevin at the bridge where the folks write their initials on the lock, and it's kind of an expression of love. And she, because most of the world is constantly under surveillance, like there's always a camera
Yes.
somewhere, so you can just put in an
Yes.
address and get live footage of it or previous footage of it. And so she gets that footage, and so she's kind of tracking her mom. She's maybe what, a day behind or 2 days behind, but
Mhm.
she's able to track her. So, so at this point, like she's pretty distrustful of Kevin, and she like sneaks into his Gmail account, and she sees that he's been chatting with this bartender slash actress, and she's like, okay, what's going on? Like, you cheating on her? There's constantly like these emails where he has changed his name multiple times,
Oh
where
yes.
he has been, you know, he's hot and heavy with the woman, and then all of a sudden there's messages like, hey, you took my money, you took my money. So she is under the impression that while her mom might be safe, her mom is being scammed right now.
Mm-hmm. And
Right.
cheated
So,
on.
and yeah, so finally there is footage released of her mother being kidnapped, her Kevin and the mother being kidnapped. So now she's really panicking because once she sees him propose, she's like,
Oh
oh,
yeah, he
okay,
proposed at the
well,
Lovelock Bridge.
yeah. But then she sees the the kidnapping and she's like, oh wait, okay, I am scared now. My mother is really in danger. This is not just about being scammed. My mother could be harmed. And so now that's when the embassy is like, all right, we this is an investigation. We have footage of a crime. But that wasn't your mama anyway.
Well, we later find that out.
Spoiler alert.
We later find out that so she finds this black woman that's an actress, bartender, and first thought, okay, Kevin cheating on her, cheating on my mom with this black woman. She's seeing the messages through the email, right? It's like email messages or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
talking about, oh, you're gonna be perfect. Meet me here. And so that's one thing. We're like, who is this woman? And what does she have to do with anything? I'm trying to remember the sequence of events. Because June starts getting more into Kevin
Mm-hmm.
and finding out
He's been to jail
yeah, he's
or
been to
prison.
jail. He was like in some type of rehab program. Cause then she finds this house in like Nevada, like they're in California. And she finds out before he went came to their house to pick up her mama to go on vacation, he was in some house in the middle of Nevada doing something. So she finds that phone number. She calls them, and the person who answers says it's like a drug rehab type or a rehab type of thing. June goes, finds the dating app, and goes through all the messages. Her mama and this man ain't even been dating like a year yet. Like, I'm looking at the dates and the messages,
Hmm.
and it ain't even been a whole year,
Ain't even
and they
been.
going to Colombia on Father's Day, as you say. Um, so we might as well just go through the rest of the plot. June, okay. So June's getting scared. She's getting worried. She's finding these like secret chat rooms of messages, and they're like, "Oh, there's Juno," and there's like this big secret going on. And she's like, "What's going?" She's trying to get the clues and put them
Yeah.
together and text on
It's
the secret chat text
yeah.
thing.
It's turning into a whodunit because she
Right.
at one point she believes that Heather is the culprit. So she goes down to her office. Heather's been murdered.
Heather's
Heather's been
gone.
strangled.
And then her
So
computer is getting erased. So it's like, oh, okay, what
mhm.
does Heather know?
Yeah, so at this point, I think even now, Grace, Nia Long's character, is a suspect because no one knows what's going on. No one knows what to believe. And now, what I will say, what I did like was the constant, like, this isn't the 80s, this isn't the 90s, this isn't the early 2000s where you are updated with the news every morning with the newspaper. This is a constant stream of news. Somebody always has a story. Somebody always feels like they have the scoop. And, you got these TikTokers, these podcasters, like, what really happened to Grace? Oh, she planned this herself. She's the one who's so I can imagine that it's very difficult to see those stories about your mother who is missing, who is innocent, and 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 see all these people make up these bogus stories about her. Now, we up here like, well, shit, is it bogus? What the hell going on? Like, what secret is Grace carrying? Because we know that she is carrying one. Um, I I don't know. It felt like a Netflix film in
This was in
that
theaters.
it was in theaters.
Yeah,
Girl,
this was in theaters. Does this, I guess, sway your opinion about traveling to Cartagena?
no, it sways my opinion about doing so with men I've just met. Like that is the
But
issue.
I do think I guess this is a grown adult. When you're grown, I don't know, does the timeline kind of shrink? So I feel like if you're grown, you don't need to be with someone for 5 years to figure out if
Cartagena ain't
you.
the problem though. She never made it. She never got on the plane.
Oh yes, we'll get to that. Okay, so Grace goes to Heather's office. Heather's gone, and then she goes back home. Is this where there's a knock on her door? No, she gets a phone call. Anyway, the daddy show up,
Yeah, who
and we
she thought
like
was
was
dead,
dead.
and we thought was dead.
And it turns out the daddy was pretending to be this rehab counselor, Christian counselor. That was his fake alias. So Grace is like, what the F is my daddy doing here?
Right.
And you can tell she's like, there's no telling what type of emotion, because it's like, why are you here? But how did you know I was here? And what do you know about what's going on? Because
Yeah.
apparently you part of this story.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you fit into this story? And he's trying to plead his case like, oh, well, your mom, try to keep you from me. And she's just like, this is too much. But I think something clicks because he's trying to talk to her, and she's looking at the computer, looking at her phone. Her phone's on the desk. And at one point she tries to like grab her phone, but he grabs her and
Mm-hmm.
takes her instead, leaving her phone at the house. So then it's like, oh shit, my daddy is the problem.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also find out that Grace never made it to Columbia, because the actress that June thought Kevin was cheating on her mama with, she was hired to pretend to be this woman in Cartagena going on vacation. And we see, this is what happened. Grace clicks on the live photo. So Kevin was sending her photos of them on the airplane. She clicks on the live photo, and the woman turns her head, and it's not her mama.
It ain't. And
so her mama never made it on the plane, never made it to Columbia.
she was hired just as the kidnappers were hired as well. These are actors because he wanted to stage a kidnapping, because he wanted to make it seem as if Grace has disappeared, because really she had been kidnapped by white ex-husband James and is being held in some damn white man bunker. So that's where we at, and that's where he takes
it's
her
the
to.
old house where Grace has her
Oh
last
yeah.
memory of her daddy. That's
Yep.
where they are. And so she's there. Nia Long is there. She's alive. We also find out that the white daddy was the Uber driver, because I put it together when Kevin was like, oh, the Uber's here. It's like he called the Uber. This had me think I need to call my own Ubers. I don't care who I'm with. I'm calling. Ladies, call your own Uber. He can send you the money.
Mm-hmm.
But we find out Kevin called the Uber. The Uber is really the ex, and so she never made it to her trip.
Never ever.
And so she's in back in the old house in some dungeon. Looks like the house ain't been updated since '06 or '08 or whenever. And so now June is there. And Nia Long is still alive. And Nia Long finds out June is there too, and she's just like, "Oh no, you can do whatever you want to me, but leave June out of it." And then we start getting more stories about what's going on, I guess, with their history.
Mm-hmm.
In the first video we have of the father that I guess Grace was like cutting and pasting and putting in the folder for June. We
Mm-hmm.
see they were talking, his nose starts bleeding. She asks like, "Are you okay?" Then he kind of gets that attitude, and the video just cuts off. But then we kind of see that the longer version of that video is that they get into an argument. And
Yeah.
then we later find out this man was on drugs. That's why his nose bleeding,
Mm-hmm.
because he's on drugs. And then he was
Booger sugar.
abusive. And this is why they left. And Grace ends up in this witness protection program. Heather is like the lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why there's no family, there's no friends. It's just Grace, June, and Heather. But oh, she did change her name. Because that's when I remember one of the emails, I guess from the daddy, he was like, "Oh, hi Grace, I found you." So we do see she changed her name, but she kept June's name. But I guess it'll be difficult to change a kid's name because they know their name.
Mm.
So
It was difficult for me to watch this film.
I
Now that we're talking about things that are difficult, because it seemed like the story, it was very difficult for me to care that he was an abusive husband because I saw so very little of him. Now I know that because of the first scene that we saw, we are just thinking, oh, he was such a loving dad, and he had been sick this entire time, and so oh my goodness. And so when we learned that he was the issue and he had some concerns, it is shocking. It is shocking, but I'm trying to think, when did I feel like betrayed in a film? There has to be a when I learned that Jon Snow was like the rightful heir, it was like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, he's the one who should be. It's but this I just felt like, oh, okay. Mm.
Now when that daddy showed up, I was just like, "Oh,
I am
he
it
ain't
it
dead."
it causes it's because I knew that Nia Long was not the issue here.
Yeah.
Because why go missing? You just want to abandon her? It doesn't
Yeah,
seem
that
that
was weird
way.
because people were saying, "Oh, she probably wanted to go missing because of the fact that she moved. There's no family, no contact." Even when the police are trying to ask June, like, "Okay, where's like you have other family?" She's like, "I don't have no other family." And they're like, "Oh,
Hmm.
okay." So it did seem like the mother was hiding something, but I did not think she was just disappear from her daughter.
Yeah.
Like that never made sense to me. So, Grace and June are now kidnapped.
Hmm.
They're in this room. Grace has a Apple Watch. No, June has on an Apple Watch. They notice that they're being videotaped. So whatever room they're in, they're being videotaped. Um, Grace's computer and phone are still on, and she knows she's being watched. And so she knows the camera, and the camera is in her house, in her room where her computer and stuff is. So she's able to turn on Siri. She's able to turn on Siri to, I guess, connect with her phone and her computer to like make a call or whatever. Daddy finds out, and he but he
shoots
definitely takes.
Grace.
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
He shoots Grace like in the thigh, I believe.
yes.
So Grace is down. Then he starts to tackle June, but Grace finds a sharp piece of glass and stabs him in the neck. June uses her phone to call.
Call 911.
Uses her Apple Watch to,
Connect.
well, she speaks into the camera so that the sound can pick up on her phone, and she
Right.
uses Siri to call the cops because she has somehow found out the address.
Yes, because the address is from her last Instagram post.
She uses Javi, the task rabbit. They have kind of developed a friendship,
Relationship.
and she kind of pissed him off because he has some trouble with his son. And when he says something that isn't to June's liking, she's like basically like, "Hey, that's why your son don't want nothing to do with you with your whack ass." She don't really say that, but it's something to that effect, okay? And so he like, "Let me just ignore these calls." She better be thankful that he said,
picked
"Let
up.
me help her out real quick." But anyway, so they are saved, and we find that June is watching the film version of this on Netflix. So basically, someone has written this story and they have made a film about it.
It's like a true crime episode because that's what she was watching in the beginning, the very beginning of the movie. She was watching some true crime, not First 48, one of them shows about missing people. And now at the end, she's watching the show, but now it's about her and her mama gone missing. So it's a lot that's going on.
So I take it you liked it.
It had me on my toes. It had me thinking.
Yeah.
Like,
it only had me on my toes.
You wasn't
That was the
thinking like,
problem for me.
what if you go missing? Who's gonna be able to get into your
That's
email?
all I was thinking about. I wasn't like invested emotionally with any of this. I wasn't, I didn't want anyone to be hurt, but I was just like, child.
Oh, we forgot to mention, and Kevin was in Colombia, and the Colombia police shot and killed him. Why? I don't get it, but I guess they just don't play. They like,
because he was in cahoots with James, and so now he's on the run because they find that out.
Oh yes, we didn't mention that. So Kevin and James, the new boyfriend and the ex, met each other in prison. And they did this whole scheme or this whole scam, I guess, for James to kidnap his ex. Trifling, can't trust nobody. How does
what did he do to the other women in his life that he was scamming? Like I wanted more of that.
Yeah.
I just wanted more. It's like we didn't really get. So there are some films where you have to know the characters within an instant and then it's go time. Like I think World War Z. You learn who Brad Pitt is within 5 minutes and now the zombies have come and then that's it. You don't have time to make sense of anything. There's not a lot of the character development will be done through the action. Right? I felt like there wasn't a lot of character development. Like there wasn't a lot of growth. Like I wasn't taking on a journey. It was just like, what's gonna happen? Oh my God, is this what? Oh my goodness. Okay, but that's it. And it just felt a little superficial to me. But I'm gonna stop speaking about how I didn't really care about this movie because I realized that I do sound like a hater. And so I just want to say that I really love Nia Long and I really love Storm and I
Storm
really
Reid.
love all of the creatives who were involved in this process. Thank you.
I think the thing that I guess struck me about the movie was I like that it was different. The whole webcam phone thing, it's new, it's interesting. This murder mystery type of thing, like a murder mystery is always good, but it was just I think I liked that it was not something I've never seen before.
Thanks for listening. We'll be back next week with another film and more opinions. Leave a review and tell us what you'd like for us to watch. And let's keep the convo going on Instagram. You can find us at Curry Gumbo. Be well, happy watching, love y'all, bye.